Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another book review. I have not read a book by this author in a very, very long time, so I am so excited to tell you guys about this book. It is called Grave Clothes Walking Skeletons. It is by Aundrya Richardson. This book was definitely something different. I didn't know what to expect from this author because she does write books that are typically urban fiction. They usually have some twists and plots to them where you never see it coming. I feel like this book was the same. The main character, let me get her name pulled up so I don't mess anything up because I am determined today. Her name is Mahogany Davis. So Mahogany is currently 32 years old. She's married to Ashton. They have, I believe, 5 kids together. I know they have a set of twins. She comes from, I don't know if you would consider it like I don't know. I wouldn't say a big family. Her parents had about 4 or 5 kids themselves. They came from a very religious background. They're very Christian. They're very we all gonna go to church together. We're all gonna talk right. We're all gonna act right. We're all gonna dress right. We are all going to live according to the word because they want to show that they are a good representation of how a pastor's family is supposed to be, which is understandable. The only thing is, from the very beginning, it became very clear to me. I felt like they were one of those families where the individual needs of the children in the household doesn't matter because we have to make sure that we're putting up a good front for like the community or for what the church will think of us. So that was kind of disheartening to see. The main character, so Mahogany, she has a sister named Sydney, and Sydney was struggling with something mentally. It really wasn't confirmed at the beginning of the book what it was that she was struggling with or what it was that um was stressing her out, but ultimately Sydney ends up taking her life. And that was kind of a little hard and a little bit challenging for me to read myself, just because I have recently lost someone to that. So it definitely hit home for me when you're a sibling and when you lose someone to in that way, especially when they're younger. Definitely unexpected. So it definitely hit home for me. So I think it was a little challenging at first for me to read it because I knew personally what those feelings are. And when you do lose someone in that way, when it is so unexpected and when someone does choose to take their life, the way that it affects the family, every member of the family gets affected in a different way. And it was interesting to see how Mahogany's response to her sister's passing was completely different than Mahogany's parents. Like her parents felt like, we're not going to say that she, unalived herself. We're just going to say that she had an asthma attack. We're going to get rid of all of her belongings and we're just going to basically put them off in storage and pretend like she never existed. Like at one point, I believe it was her father told Mahogany, like, we need to move on with our lives. And that is a crazy concept to me. Like, we're moving on with our lives. What does that even mean? I don't know. I don't think there's a way to just, you don't just move on. There's no way to just move on from that. So it was interesting. Some information kind of gets revealed about Sydney that makes Mahogany feel like I need to go ahead and start investigating this. What she ends up finding out in her investigation kind of blew me off because I wasn't anticipating that, especially with them being so, such a Christian family. I didn't anticipate it, but it was whatever. So at some point, it becomes time for Mahogany to go off to college, right? And her parents are not necessarily jumping for joy about it. They kind of definitely would rather her stay home because her father sits her down at one point and he basically explains to her, there's dangers out in the world. We can't protect you if you're all the way down in Atlanta. Father starts warning her from the beginning, hey, listen, you have this aunt that we have never told you about. Like, we have this aunt that, well, you have this aunt, it's my sister. I don't necessarily want you interacting with her. If you meet someone named Kendra, go the other way, call us, like treat it like an emergency. And she promises her father, like, yes, I'll definitely do that. And of course, nothing ever goes the way that people promise that they will. She goes off to college. She ends up becoming very close with her what do you call it? Her dorm mate, her roommate, Chantel. Her and Chantel seem to hit it off pretty good. They hit it off pretty good. They decide to go into I'll call it a lucrative career path with each other. And after a while, Mahogany she's enjoying the money, the fruits of her labor in what she's doing. And Chantel starts to feel like this is way more than I expected. This is too much. I think we need to start backing away from it. She's begging her, please just come back home with us. I believe she lives in Florida. She's begging her, please just come visit my family with me down in Florida. We need to get away for this weekend. I don't think it's a good idea. Mahogany is focusing on her bag. She's not worried about what her friend's talking about. She's like, listen, I'm going to go ahead and take care of what I need to take care of this weekend. Money's there to be made. I'm going to do it. Her deciding to do that sends her life on a completely different course, because if you play with fire enough, you are sure to get burned. And she actually did decide to play with fire that night and decided to kind of backdoor some people that were looking out for her. What happens is she manages to finesse and finagle her way out of trouble. She doesn't end up going to jail for what ends up happening. But now that she has moved on with her life, and now that it's years later, she's graduated from college, she has a somewhat decent relationship with her family still. She's married with kids now. The people that she wronged and the people that she backdoored, they're coming back with a vengeance. Like, listen, if you don't do what we say, we're going to expose you to your church, because she's like a pastor's wife now. Like, and everybody knows, like, being exposed for your past sins or past whatever it was you were doing, when you're that high up in the church, you will a lot of times do whatever it takes to keep that silent. So it was tough. It was tough. It definitely was tough for her. I was like, oh my God, girl, I hope you figure it out. I really do. I hope you figure it out, because it's not looking. Overall, what would I give this book? I would definitely give it, I would say a 4 out of 5. The only reason why I don't say 5, I did enjoy the storyline. I think for me, they're just, there were some moments where I'm like, wait, who is this? And who is this person? There were a lot of characters, and I'm not going to lie, I don't have the memory I used to have anymore, guys. I cannot. Once a book has more than like 5 to 6 characters, I'd be like, so who is this? And who is that? So that's why I do enjoy that feature with Kindle, where they allow you to highlight and sit here and read through your notes and stuff. Because outside of that, I would be lost in the sauce, if people still even say that. I would definitely be lost. I definitely enjoyed the book. I really did enjoy it. If you're looking for a new like Christian read, Christian fiction, urban fiction book, this book would definitely be a good place to go looking. I'm trying to think. I know the book was on Kindle Unlimited. I try to always include the price. Let me see if I can just double check exactly how much it was, because I like to be super, super on point with it. And I feel like Kindle's not gonna play nice with me today. It doesn't look like it's playing nice at the moment. But I do think the book was no more than a couple dollars if you were going to read it on your phone. But if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read it for free. I always advocate for the Kindle Unlimited program. Once you do decide to read this book, go ahead and leave a review for the author. I feel like it is one of those unspoken things as authors. Like, we literally live for book reviews. We really enjoy it. It really gives us feedback on the book. It lets us know what people were thinking. Even if it's not a perfect 5-star review, authors still want to read it. So if you decide that you might be interested in this book, or if you think it's something you might be interested in, go ahead and comment below. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know, if you've already read the book, let me know what was like the shocking moment for you, because I feel like there were a couple moments where I had to put the book down and take a pause and take a break and be like, did that really just happen? Like, did this person really just respond that way? I did not like her parents in the beginning. I did not like them. I did not like them. I didn't like them. Even her friend Chantel, there were moments where I was like, girl, I get that you have to do what's best for you. I get that, maybe Mahogany's choices were not always the best, but dang, you really gonna separate yourself like entirely? Like, she just was not She wasn't a ride or die friend to me, I guess, at first. But at the same time, that's good for her because she's expressing her boundaries. She knows her limits and she knows what she's willing to be around and what she's not. So you can't even fault her for that. So thank you again for watching this book review. If you have not already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. And I look forward to seeing you in the next book review.